Hello, good evening, all. I'm sorry, good afternoon, all. So, how are you? Let us just wait for few people to join in. I have been so used to the evening sessions. Hardly I took any sessions in the afternoon. So, I'm so used to that good evening, happy evening. So, how are you all? So, as everybody knows, we have started with the training for the same sanitation and sterilization module of Sidesco, but we are going for the English version from yesterday. All right, let us wait for a minute for more people to join in. Hi, Falaknaz. Am I audible? Yes, I'm going to upload all the videos. They by default get uploaded on Facebook, Falak. So I hope your friend who's been in touch with us is attending all the sessions, or she has got exactly what should be done. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Hi, Nisha. Okay, so let's start with the session. We have few people joining in new today right now. Few would be watching the video in the evening. All right. So to tell a little about us, about my journey, is I'm into this industry for last 24 years, and I run an academy and a salon in Pune by the name Impression Hair and Beauty Clinic is the salon name, because we more focus on the clinical treatments. Okay, so it's not just the uh, typical salon scenario, or it's not the typical beauty parlor kind of thing. We have more of clinical base treatments, and our academy is on Ferguson College Road. There itself is our salon. We have a makeup studio, and over there we train people as well, and we uh, take clients as well. All right. This is our setup for the beauty education. This is the lecture room. This is how there's a setup for the international exam. So ideally the place is very spacious, not cluttered. There is minimum actual 6 feet distance between every bed. So you can move around, the examiner can move around well, and we accommodate only 8 in one room, and we have other rooms to accommodate 3 more. So almost exam for 11 people is possible in the academy. So this is the area for recreation, wherein we have certain things going on as an activity, and students can have their lunch, their they can keep their things in the lockers. So there are lockers you can see over here, and this is like a recreation area. So we have a pantry and all. So this is about how it looks. This is our back office where our admin people sit, and the work goes on for the academy. This is a hair section, wherein all cuts, color, and chemical treatments are there. The place is very spacious and airy from both ends. Whichever window you go, it's all green. Okay, so it's good for chemical services because everything is open, and continuously there's a lot of air and sunlight. So looking at today's scenario wherein ACs are not allowed, and need of fresh air is always told for this COVID situation, then this could be the best place to visit. So do visit once you are there in Pune, or whenever you have time post this lockdown. So I'm sharing another PPT, which is the presentation is for today's topic. So let me share. So basically there was a question that is there any difference between the Marathi notes, English notes, Hindi notes? No. English notes have been given by Sedesco people, all right? And the translation is done by the ABTC team. They have been very kind enough to translate it in Hindi and Marathi. And they have been very kind enough to approach Sedesco to give us the Hindi and Marathi exams as well. So that's so good, you know. That's why so many people from Maharashtra could appear in the Marathi version. So many people from all over India can attend through the Hindi version. One moment, my PPT is not getting shared. Let me try. Have you gone through the notes, or have you people got a chance to read the notes, see the earlier videos? One second. Let me just share it. One second. Just give me a moment. Notes, yes. What about others? There are a few people who have joined in. Have you got a chance to go through the notes? Guys, you need to just excuse me for a minute. I need to take some help. All right. So I've been able to share it. So today, let us understand the different methods of sanitation and sterilization. Let me repeat. What do you mean by sterilization and sanitation? So as we saw yesterday, sanitation is a process wherein you just disinfect or clean the equipments. It's like you spray a Dettol kind of chemical on your scissors or on your implements. That's a basic chemical, you know, sanitization, or washing your equipments with warm soapy water. That could be sanitation. But sterilization is little more. Sterilization is more about uh, getting it disinfected to a level where the germs are just 99.9%. The germ the equipment is free of germs 99.9%, so almost 100% free. Okay, but whenever you buy a autoclave or anything, they will never say that it will make your instruments 100% uh, completely sterilized. They will always promise you 99% sterilized that way. Okay, so now let us go one by one. Yeah, so let me change. If you have any queries, guys, related to all these notes or all the videos, let us know, please. So let's look at what all is sterilization. Now let's go into the scientific definition of what is sterilization. So sterilization, as they say, is a complete destruction of microorganisms and their causes. Okay, which means it also destroys the spores. Spores is the egg of that pathogens or the bacteria. All right. So in sterilization, it doesn't clean the grown-up microorganisms, but also the spores of microorganism. Why importance of sterilization in salon and spa industry? Why there is so much of importance of sterilization and sanitation in a salon scenario or a spa scenario? Okay, so let me again tell you the same thing which I've been repeating in all the Marathi session, all the Hindi sessions, everywhere, and even the orientation. This sterilization and sanitation is not a new norm for CIDESCO. CIDESCO is always an education and institution which is always focusing on sterilization, sanitation, hygiene equivalently to what treatments and what other knowledge they give. So a lot of people might carry a wrong impression saying, okay, this COVID situation is there, this coronavirus is there, and that's why CIDESCO, is focusing more on sterilization and sanitation. No, Baba, no, guys. So this is, don't be in a wrong connotation, wrong understanding. It's always been a part of our education whenever we have done any kind of CIDESCO course. As I tell it in my introductions, I have done my CIDESCO in 1999. So I don't think there are a lot of new things in these notes. We have already learned it for more than 20 years. Okay, it could be new for many people. That's why this is an award, this is a free certification, so that worldwide more people come into this pattern, this theory of CIDESCO, wherein sterilization and sanitation is of utmost importance in salon or spa scenario. All right, now, as we all know that we are in constantly direct and close contact with people, either attending them for a treatment or escorting clients from one place to another, correct hygiene procedures must be adopted as a matter of routine. Okay, so it should not be like, okay, this corona thing, and only for this situation I am going to follow all the norms for sterilization and sanitation. But this should be your entire, what you can say, protocol for your lifetime, till the last day you work in a salon. All right, so don't just understand these studies, or don't study this, acha, okay, for only for corona or only for COVID, and after 6 months and 1 year we are going to forget this. Please, please, guys, this entire effort is not just for this season, corona season. All right, because you never know what kind of allergies, what kind of infections your client is carrying. Okay, so it's very, 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 very important you follow correct hygiene procedures in your routine as well. Now, what will happen if you guys, if everybody of us follow this routine? So it's going to reduce the cross infection and contamination. So, what is cross infection? What is contamination? We are going to see in the 5 days of training, because we are going to touch to how to clean the blood spills. We are going to touch upon what is hepatitis. We are going to touch upon what is AIDS. Why a salon owner needs to learn about the blood-borne diseases. Okay, then what kind of bacteria are there in your acne? You must know that, because we work on acne, we work with needles. If you are a tattoo artist, we work with needles. If you are an you can say a piercing expert. Okay, so wherever there is needle, wherever there is piercing, where there is blood oozing out, wherever you are touching the fluids of body, or you are touching the sweat, a good amount of sanitation sterilization protocols must be followed. All right, then there are three main categories which talk about the sterilization. Now we are focusing on sterilization because sanitation does not clean the entire uh, equipment, or it does not give you a completely disinfected effect. So there are three major methods, which are physical, chemical, and radiation. So let's see one by one what is physical. So physical is a moist heat sterilization, which is autoclave. We will be seeing it in the next slide. Then there is dry heat sterilization, which is a glass bead sterilizer. Then third is radiation method, which is a UV light cabinet. So let's see what exactly is this. Any query till now? Do you want to ask anything, or are you all right with whatever is going ahead? I need some thumbs up. Then moist heat and dry heat. What is that? Sterilization involves lower temperature and higher pressure of water. So when in sterilization you are utilizing a moist heat, okay, what is that? Lower temperature and higher pressure of water. But in dry heat sterilization, the air is dry, higher in temperature, and for a longer duration. Then, when you come to moist heat sterilization, it needs steam and water because it's moist. Okay. But in dry sterilization, there is no use of steam and water. Moist heat sterilization takes less time comparatively to the dry heat sterilization. So this was on a very macro level. Whenever you have the notes in your hand, you need to just go through the entire detailed topic, right? Then again in chemical sterilization, we saw physical sterilization. Now we see the chemical sterilization, which is wet sterilization, vapor sterilization. What is that? So whenever you say wet sterilization, any antiseptic solutions such as Dettol, chloroxinol, benzalkonium chloride, bleach, etc. So all of us, we use Dettol and all these things in our salons or in our spas. Maybe for your cleaning the makeup brushes, we use isopropyl alcohol as well. So there are many chemicals. These are few of the examples. Now, when it comes to vapor sterilization, there are certain chemicals which release the vapor. For example, is formaldehyde, ethylene oxide, etc. Now, just for an extra information, smelling this formaldehyde or ethylene oxide is not good for human body. As we all know, when we do keratin, when we do this aqua treatments and all, there is too much amount of formaldehyde in those products. What is formaldehyde? Please go and Google. Formaldehyde is something which is very toxic. Dead bodies are stored in formaldehyde, and it's not good for a normal human being to smell it. Okay, it's highly toxic for your brain, it's highly toxic for your lungs as well. Now, safety while using chemicals. Now, while you're using all these chemicals, your safety is of utmost important. Your safety, your staff safety. Okay, right from the purchase of chemical to storage to how you're going to uh, transfer it into a small bottle, or how are you going to use it every day in your bucket or in your sprays. So this transfer is also very important, how you're going to put the chemicals into different bottles. So ideally, as we all know, we must store them in dark glass bottles. Otherwise, if you put it in an area where there is sunlight or there's a lot of heat, what will happen is they may catch flame, or they might burst. Okay. And you should not keep these bottles open as well, because when once in contact with air, what happens, they get deteriorate, like they lose their the alcoholic part of it, or the major ingredient which actually works on the cleaning part. It's very important to label all the containers, and they need to be covered and under a lock and key. Why? Because as it is, we use so many chemicals in salon. So it's good that you ideally label everything and put everything in a very structured and in a manner where it's easy to locate, it's easy to take it out. All right. Now, whenever you're using these chemicals, do not smell them like directly, because they're very pungent. And as I said, they might cause any toxic reaction to your eyes, to your brain. So not even you, whenever you open the developer bottles, okay, you should not open them in front of eyes. You should always put them a little aside and then open the cap. Let it just release that vapor, the air, initially, and then you can check it. But never ever your Oreos, your developers, you should not smell them directly. All right. Then avoid spillage. So whenever you are shifting from a bigger bottle to a smaller bottle, transferring, use a funnel. Then while doing all this, keep a big tray or big tub whenever you're transferring, and also keep a first aid kit handy. Okay. And always follow manufacturer's instruction, because that's very important, as we cannot cover all the products, all the brands in one session. So ideally, whenever you purchase something, make sure you read the manufacturer's instructions. Now let's see how should we store the chemicals. Now in the left side rack, you can see everything in the dark glass bottle properly labeled, and they are stored in cool, dry, dark area. Okay. Now you can see the person is opening, the person is taking out all the bottles from the second slide, from the second picture, and he's handling them with gloves. He has a tray in the hand. He's wearing a goggle, a transparent goggle, to safeguard from getting those chemical into his eyes. So everybody need to be careful while handling these chemicals. All right. Then we have lot of material, as I said, as a salon or as a spa, as a makeup studio, wherein we use for cleaning, we use for if you are into special effects makeup and all, you guys also use a lot of chemicals. Okay. So ideally it's good to keep them in organized shelf as shown in the slide before, and not in an unorganized way, easy to find. So this is a very self-explanatory slide which talks about what is the difference between an organized and unorganized one. Okay? Let's come to autoclave. What is autoclave? It looks like a pressure cooker. So let's see what an autoclave is, which has a pressure chamber that uses steam under pressure to sterilize equipments and supplies. So this autoclave, as it looks like a pressure cooker, it works on the theory of pressure cooker itself. And as we discussed in the initial slides, it is for sterilization. It won't just sanitize, but this kind of um, gadgets, if you're going to use in the salon or spa, they are going to sterilize. They're going to give you a 99.9% clean equipment, whether be your scissors, whether they be your manicure pedicure instruments or whatever. You need to know what needs to be put in that. You cannot put plastic inside a boiling hot water container. Okay. Then it is a moist heat, as we saw. An autoclave works on a moist heat. Okay. And as you see, there are a lot of uh, things over that pressure cooker kind of autoclave. There is an attachment which shows the pressure gauge. Okay. Then there has the autoclave has lot of what you can say, the bolts to screw and unscrew, to open up the lid, to put water inside. So how it works, let's see. Now when you have to open the lid, you need to discharge the tap. Okay. There's a safety valve also. So discharge it so that the steam goes off, and then the lid will easily come out. What do you see inside it? Inside the autoclave. So there is a marking which shows you need to put water till that level itself. Just pour some water. It's ideal to use a distilled water. Okay. Then there's a perforated tray. It just fits well into that. And we'll see few more compartments of autoclave in the next slide. So on this perforated tray, you need to place all your material, your articles. And then you again close the lid. You tighten the screw, you adjust the meter, and then you put on, okay, the switch. Now, the next slide will talk about the rack or the shelves, metal shelves which are inside the autoclave. Now you will say, my God, so such a big autoclave you have to buy for a salon? No, you can buy a smaller version as well. There's a smaller version available as well. You can check it with the surgical guy in your city or from whichever city you are. Now, such big racks, such big autoclaves are always used in a hospital. As you know, for the operation theaters or for a dentist, it is of utmost importance to get all the equipments sterilized to the highest capacity, like 100% clean. Okay, so we are going to look at what all sterilizers and what all gadgets are available in the market. Now, let's first understand instruments which can withstand high temperature and pressures, such as all your metal and steel instruments for manicure pedicure, your scissors. Then if you are using machine treatments like vacuum or yeah, especially if you can use this for vacuum, that would sustain the heat, because if you put all your high frequency um, what you can say, the knobs inside the autoclave, then that won't work. All right, it will spoil, it will corrode the metal part which we actually insert in the handle of the high frequency. All right, I'm trying to make it more simple for people who don't know high frequency also, and who don't know the vacuum thing, because there are many people who are makeup artists, hairdressers in these trainings. All right, ideally the glass equipment to sterilize should be made of borosil kind of material, which is strong enough to take the heat, to bear the heat. Okay, and once everything is clean, remove it and put it in a closed cabinet. Now let's see in the next slide what is a closed cabinet, in what kind of cabinet you can store it. Now what should be the duration? Let's understand that. Now don't think that once I've used something, I'm immediately going to put it in the sterilizer. No, you can't do that. So you need to prepare the tool for sterilization. How do you prepare it? You need to wash them under a running tap water. It could be hot water, warm water, with soap. Okay. Once they are clean with soap water, then you need to leave the instruments in the autoclave for 10 to 20 minutes. Right? So never put used material, used equipments directly in the autoclave. Okay, that's the wrong method. And as I said, whenever you remove them from the autoclave with proper gloves and with all the care, then you need to store them in a UV cabinet. You just can't leave them in a drawer open or on a table. All right, because there would be a lot of people around who will touch those things, or there could be a haircut going on, and when they blow dry, the hair is going to come and again sit on that cleaned equipment. So make sure whenever you remove them, you dry them with a clean tissue or a clean towel, and you place them in a UV cabinet. All right. Now, the moist heat autoclave will operate on 120 degrees Celsius, which is ideal for a metal instrument. But I would always urge and request you guys to read the manufacturer's instruction well. Okay, because there are many kind of autoclaves in the market, and as I said, you need to learn the screwing and unscrewing of all the attachments. You need to understand how the meter gauge works. Otherwise, if you go wrong, then if you don't fit the lid well and all, then uh, you might face a problem, like just the lid just coming out, or the instruments not getting cleaned so well. Now, very important is we need to know the manufacturer's instruction well. Do not open the lid until the steam has subsided, and we follow this whenever we use a pressure cooker as well. Okay. Do not unscrew or screw the steam releasing valve for excess steam to pass. Fasten the screw of the lid to prevent water and steam spillage. So please be careful. There's hot boiling water even if you're opening the lid, and it might come on your hand, the steam might come on your hand or forearm, and it would just burn. So be very careful while using this. Make sure the rubber tube is tight and not out of shape. There's a rubber tube inside, just like we use it for a pressure cooker. All right. Remove tools by wearing heat resistant gloves or tongs. That's very important. Okay, don't just handle this hot water and all these equipments with a naked hand. Now let's see in another slide about what type of autoclaves are available in the market, who uses them. Okay, so you can see three different kind of autoclave, which are dry heat autoclave, vacuum autoclave, and flash instrument. Now all these three are generally found in the clinics, in hospitals, wherever there is cut, stitch, lot of blood coming on the instruments. Okay. So dry heat autoclave is again the hot air. Now the temperature this time is 160 degrees Celsius, which is 320 degree Fahrenheit. So guys, all such questions are going to come in your multiple choice question exam. Okay, in the theory. All right. So for 2 hours or 180 degrees Celsius, which is 356 degree Fahrenheit for 1 hour. Okay. Then what is vacuum autoclave? It looks like that air is forced out of the chamber under the pressure. Now these pictures, you won't get it in the notes, what has been given by CDESCO. You need to Google. Now these are the PPTs created by all the school people from Pune, Mumbai. And when the training was going on for CDESCO India group. All right. So you will get to see all these pictures on Google as well. The notes don't have these pictures. Flash instrument, rapid penetration of steam, flush pressure pulse on the instrument placed on a tray. So flash instrument, vacuum autoclave, and dry heat autoclave are the three different methods of sterilization. Okay. So about flash instruments, it's a rapid penetration of steam and flush pressure pulse on the instrument placed in the tray. So you will find this in at a dentist's place. The trays will occupy all the equipments, what they use for cleaning, what they use for root canal and all the metal instruments. And always remember, always invest in good quality stainless steel metal implements in salon as well. You will see them at doctors, a good doctor's place, wherein they will never carry a rust. Okay. Let's see if they are economical or what. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? Now they are very, see, now you have to see both the ends. You need to be very effective also. You need to be very cost effective also, and it should be easy to use as well. So all these things what you have seen are economical and cost effective, and they're non-toxic on instruments. So they won't cause a corrosion. Yeah, they won't cause a rust on your instruments. But as I said, you have the world's best instrument to sterilize, like autoclave or anything. But you don't have the instruments of that quality, then it won't match. Then you will spoil your instruments. Any low quality instrument, low grade instrument is going to corrode, is going to give the corrosion, is going to show lot of rust on the instrument. Now what are the disadvantages? Because see, everything will come with advantages and disadvantages. Nothing is perfect in the world. Okay. So in autoclaves, sharp instruments may become, yeah, can become a little blunt. They might lose the sharpness. Metal instruments, if not of good quality, might rust. Okay. They are little expensive, and it will damage the plastic instrument. As we all know, if we are putting plastic instruments in a boiling container, it's but natural that it's going to damage it. Note, now consult manufacturer's instructions. It's very, very important. Every time you buy something, you need to go through the manufacturer's instructions. Okay. And Local government laws, regulations on sterilization times and temperatures. This is a very important factor. Unfortunately, in India, we don't have a government body which talks about it, which gives us protocols on this. In India, if you want to start a salon, you need just to have a shop act license and just a health department license, which is typically in Maharashtra called as the Arogya Parvana. But there is no government body which talks about how to sanitize, how to sterilize the tools and equipments. That's the reason in this corona times, government, the private body which works in hand with government, which is BWSSC, IPBW, everybody had good training sessions for people to understand why it is important to sanitize, sterilize instruments, equipments, makeup brushes in salons. Now let's go ahead and understand what is a glass bead sterilizer. All right. I hope it's clear till now, or you can just type questions. If you're finding it interesting, just give few thumbs up. I would like to see few thumbs up. I want the session to be very interactive. I don't want it to be a monologue, just one way. Okay. And you're just listening and I'm just talking. I want some interaction. I want to see your comments. I want to see your hi hellos. I want to see your likes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Lovely. Yeah. So now let's see what is a glass bead sterilizer. The glass bead sterilizer is a heat unit with a well that holds a cup full of tiny glass beads, gets hot enough to kill microorganisms. Now this looks like a wax pot. Okay, the wax, typical wax heaters what we have in salons. Now there are beads which are silicone beads. Now let's see what are the glass beads made of. Glass beads are made of silica. Now these kind of questions are going to come in your exam. Okay, and other minerals melted at a high temperature to form a thick viscous liquid. Now what is this silica? Typically when you buy a new purse or a new bag, you get that silicone pouch inside your bag. So if you cut it and see, there are those small balls, or in case if it breaks, you will see all the small balls falling. That's silica. Okay, what is this silica and what are these minerals? Now this liquid is molded into the desired shape and hardens as it cools. Okay, so now when you buy this glass bead sterilizer, you need to buy a packet of these beads. You pour them inside the pot, heat them, and you need to sterilize the equipments. How? Suitable for only small equipments. So you can see the scissor is dipped or the cuticle cutter is dipped, and only metal instruments can be sterilized. You cannot put a plastic uh, spatula or a comb in this sterilizer. It will just melt and it will stick. It will spoil all the beads. It will spoil the entire sterilizer. Only the parts which are covered with beads will be sterilized. So the handle or the pivot, it's not, it shows that it will clean till pivot, but just be careful while picking them out because they might be too hot to hold it with a naked hand. Okay, but as they said, whatever you dip, it's going to get clean. Now when you take them out, make sure you are using a glove or you're using a tongue. Okay, wash the instrument before placing them in the cup. As I said, whenever you're putting anything in the autoclave as well, make sure you wash them with hot water and soap, and then place it in the sterilizer. Okay, then what is the temperature? The temperature on it, on which the glass bead sterilizer operates, is 300 degrees Celsius. Very high, very hot, like oven. Okay, so don't try to touch the beads or don't try to touch the scissor or whatever you have dipped in with a naked hand. Your skin will come out. Yeah, please be careful. Now it will just sterilize the instrument in minutes. You won't have to keep it for a very long. Okay, though you can keep it for say 10 to 15 minutes. Now, ideally, you have to again read the manufacturer's instruction. That's the best part. Okay. As they say, the unit takes 20 to 30 minutes to warm up and before sterilization can take place. So any glass bead sterilizer you're going to use, it is going to take 20 to 30 minutes to warm up before the actual sterilization, before the actual process of cleaning starts. So if more than one instrument is placed in the container, a longer time must be added to the entire process, added to the sterilization. Why? Because it's going to take time to sterilize each and every equipment. Therefore, the recommendation is to turn on the sterilizer for 45 minutes to 1 hour before the treatment. So whenever in the morning you reach salon, you can just put it on while you're getting ready or while your cleaning is going on. You need to train your people accordingly. It will just get heated and you can place the equipments in it once they are properly heated. Now, in every case, in every case, you're going to take precautions as suggested by manufacturer, and the working instructions also, like you need to give a working instruction to the therapist or to the hairdresser, whoever are going to use this. Do not introduce a dipped portion immediately onto the client's skin as it may cause burns. So it cannot be you have just freshly taken out the scissor and now you are, placing it on the client's nape. No, guys, it's going to burn the neck. Okay, so be very careful. Now, always consulting manufacturer's instructions and local government laws and regulation on sterilization time and temperature is very important. I will be repeating it with every slide. And if at all our government is kind enough to give us any kind of instructions in coming days after this COVID situation, we would be really grateful if government comes with a license or a training for every state, because with English, Hindi, Marathi and all these efforts, we are going to reach a very minuscule chunk of people, very few people. So I want everybody to share these videos. I want everybody to pass on this certification to your friends. You are going to lose nothing in this. Okay, collectively if we work smarter, collectively if we are cautious about our industry, we are going to grow as an industry as a whole. All right, so now or henceforth it's never a time wherein we think that okay, I know sterilization, why my competitor has to know. Everybody needs to know about it if he's a salon owner or if they are working with a salon. Now let's see, guys, what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of these glass bead sterilizers. So this is also one unit, Germinator 500. It's economical, portable. It reduces the risk of cross contamination. So whoever is lot into hair and don't want to invest in the big autoclaves can always buy these small ones. Some of the glass bead sterilizer has an indicator switch. If you can see, can you see this? Okay, what it tells, once it's heated, it has a thermostat and it will just go off. When it's again back to normal, it will go on. Now, as I said, everything will come with an advantage and a disadvantages. Nothing is foolproof in any industry. Okay, so what is the disadvantage of glass bead sterilizer? Let's see. It cannot accommodate more instruments at a time. Okay, so maybe one or two or three, four. Risk of glass beads getting stuck in the tools as the beads are tiny and transparent. What is that? There are small tiny beads which will get stuck in the scissor what you're putting inside, and when you remove that, those heated small balls might fall on your hands, might fall on your shoes, might fall on your floor. So you need to be really careful. You just cannot place it in front of the client, because even client might get tempted to see it and touch it. Even if it's put off, Like if you put off the switch, it's still very hot, this glass bead sterilizer. And if client is sitting there and he is very inquisitive about knowing, okay, what is this, and he touches those glass beads, or any small child comes in the salon and they touch the glass bead sterilizer, it's going to burn, it's going to remove their skin. So as we take care of our tong machines and iron machines or our steamers, we need to be very careful with all these heating systems like sterilizers and glass bead sterilizers and autoclaves. Okay. Then now the third thing what we have to touch upon is the wet sterilization, which are the chemicals. And the most common are Dettol, isopropyl alcohol, and chloroxinol. Okay. I hope most of you are using this already to clean your makeup brushes, to clean your tools. So whenever you're cleaning your makeup brushes with soap and water, always make sure you put Dettol in it. Okay. Now, what is a wet sterilization? It's a method to eliminate all the viable microorganisms and their spores. So whenever they say spores, that means the eggs of the pathogens or the bacterial growth. Now, what all concentrates you find in the market? You find chloroxinol, benzalkonium chloride, bleach, and Dettol. Now, though Dettol is a brand, okay, Dettol is easy to understand. Everybody can buy it. It's easy to understand. That's why the Dettol picture is given in the slide. But we don't want to promote any product over here. But whatever you're buying, guys, my only request is buy of a certain quality. Now, for example, this chloroxinol comes in a substandard market also and a very standard market also. Even isopropyl alcohol, you get diluted, you get very less alcohol. The alcohol sometimes it's very bad quality and it spoils your brushes. So I would request you to always buy a branded stuff. For example, an isopropyl alcohol of Krylon or PAC are very good for your makeup brushes. Again, I'm saying I don't want to promote any company, but I don't want your instrument to get spoiled, because in this lockdown thing, this corona season, what has happened, people have lost jobs, people have shut down salons, and now everybody is selling masks, everybody is selling disposables. Most of the salons are selling all these sanitizers, then sanitization equipment, so many things. So I would request you to buy from an authentic source, from a good branded store wherein you don't play around your health and your client's health. Okay. Then what is asepsis? A is anti and sepsis is septic. Okay. So anything which works anti microorganisms or anti the growth of bacteria, viruses, or microorganism is an asepsis. Okay. So you can create different sprays of these Dettol or chloroxinol, and you can carry this isopropyl alcohol whenever you're doing bride in a closed bottle. Okay. And it's alcoholic, so if you keep it open, it will just evaporate, like how your nail paint remover acetone or butyl acetate evaporates. All right. Then, how do you use it? To use any antiseptic or basic cleaning material, you have to always put it in a spray form, or you can use it in a bottle container, which the typical, which is like you invert it and the liquid starts flowing. That kind of bottles. Make sure they're amber color bottles and they don't corrode the container in which they have been kept. Okay, so you need to be careful. Now, what all are we going to clean with this? We are going to clean the walls, if the walls are cleanable with these chemicals. Okay, so especially your washroom walls, which are made up of tiles, then your floors, treatment beds. Very important, you clean it in front of the client. And even after the client gets down from the bed, you need to clean it. So it is not just to show to the client that we are doing so good and we have been so careful, but it is for actual, the underlining meaning is that you give an assurance to the client, this, yes, we are cleaning before and after every use. That is one way you convey it also. And why everybody tells you to clean it, all this Tedesco people or anybody will tell you to clean it before and after, is it gives you a reminder, okay, that yes, I have to clean it. Okay, so the moment your client gets down from the bed and they're okay to change and all, that time you're going to spray it and clean it with a dry tissue or a disposable tissue or a wet wipe, whatever you're going to use. All right. So make sure after every facial, after every hair wash, after every haircut, you are going to sanitize the surfaces. Okay. And the hairdressers, beauticians have to do it. This won't be done by the housekeeping, otherwise entire day they will be working. So it is always good that the hairdresser or the beautician gives an assurance to the client by cleaning in front of them. All right, sounds good. Then all your trolleys, all your tiles, your work surfaces, your basins, backwashes, everything must be clean after a use, after every use. Like even your door handles, okay, then your bell, if there is a bell on your salon's door, or if you're working from home, if you're working from home, or if you're in home service provider, my god, you need to be more careful, because I've seen most of the home service providers never sterilize or sanitize their equipments in between two clients. Okay, so there are very few, from 100 only 10, like 10% would take that much care. Even salon owners are like that. So everybody needs to be careful. But whenever you are out at a client's place, you are at more risk, because in a clean salon environment, you at least know you are under a controlled environment. Okay. Now, can a metal be sterilized with this method? So the answer is yes, of course. You can clean with any kind of chemical material, but the solution should have a rust inhibitor. What is a rust inhibitor? It will inhibit the growth of rust. It will reduce, it won't allow the metal to rust. All right. See, there's so much of care in the tools as well, because the tools are the real uh, instruments, or the gadgets through which we achieve our results. So all your instruments, how to handle them, how to clean them, are of utmost importance. All right. Then after 20 to 30 minutes, whatever you have cleaned, remove them, clean it with a dry towel, and store it in a UV cabinet. We are going to see what a UV cabinet is. Okay. Never ever remove them with a naked hand. Always use gloves, tongs. Okay. And clean them properly, dry them, and then put it in the cabinet so that they just stay as it is. Okay. And no touching them with naked hands. Then, now, what should be the duration? Place the equipment in the solution for 20 to 30 minutes after cleaning with soap and water. So, as I said, every slide is repeating that the moment you use something, you're not going to put it in the chemical or in the autoclave. You are going to make sure that you clean it with soap water as well. Yeah. Now, there's a question: can towels be disinfected with the method? This method, and the answer is yes. You can use a bleach if you use white towels. You cannot use a bleaching agent if you're going to use colored towels, because it will take away the print, or it will just give you a blotch, a white blotch on your towels or gowns, whatever you're dipping in a bleach. So just make sure you're reading all the manufacturer's instructions and you're cleaning all your stuff well. Now, what are the advantages or disadvantages of this? It's very effective. Larger area could be covered. So if you put it in a big tub with all your makeup instruments, like all your tools in it, it will definitely clean them at one time. Now, what could be the disadvantages? If you leave them for a longer duration, they might rust. They might be harmful to the environment if not used correctly. So that is also very important, what chemical you are using. That's why I will always insist you on using a branded chemical, using a good quality chemical, because you invest so much in your brushes, you invest so much in your makeup product. And when it comes to cleaning material, you say, no, I'll just clean it in some local um, sanitizer or local brush cleaner. But what will happen is, when you're paying so much for the good quality brush kit, you're going to spoil it if you put it in the wrong kind of chemical. Now, there's one more sterilization method which is called as the vapor sterilization. Let's look at it. But when they say vapor sterilization, the vapor is through the chemical. That's why it's in bracket, it's written as chemical. Now let's see what is a vapor sterilization. This process uses a mixture of chemical including alcohol, formaldehyde, ketone, acetone and water. Now they are heated under pressure, form a sterilizing gas. Now you cannot heat up alcohol at home on a gas stove or with anything, okay? So there is a heating system already been put up in the unit, okay, to make it more simple. So you are not going to heat and use this. It's inbuilt in the system, okay. There is a tank, small tank of to refill all these chemicals. Now, as I said, formaldehyde, strong formaldehyde is very bad for the body, very toxic. So you can use a formaldehyde solution which says it has 40% strength, so that can be used, okay. Similar to steam sterilizing, but instead of water, gas is released to sterilize the equipments or the tools. So in this case, you can see the machine, the gadget, how it looks, and here there is a tank. You can refill it over here. It looks like your microwave or a small washing machine. All right. Now this method, it's called as chemiclaving. Now remember all these terminologies because this could be your questions. Sterilization is effective using gases between they penetrate quickly into the material like steam. So why it is so effective? Because it is in form of gas. It's very lighter. Okay. It's in abundance. It's in more quantity inside the unit so that it reaches the nook and corner of every instrument. Now let's see what is the next slide. It is ultraviolet cabinet. And I'm sure most of you would be having this. So what is ultraviolet cabinet? They are used on both long and short wave ultraviolet lights. The theory is the ultraviolet light to sanitize equipments. And the UV rays, whatever UV rays we all know, they are emitted by sun. But here in the units, they are the man-made ones, okay, the artificial ones. Still, they work on your instruments. So as we always say, sun is the best disinfectant. So this is how it works. So UV light cabinets are man-made sources of UV rays used for the maintenance of your sterilization process, basically used as a storage unit. Okay. So now very important point, many of us feel that I have a sanitizing box, I have that sanitizer or sterilizer material in my salon, so I don't need to boil it, I don't need to autoclave it. No, darlings. Your your cabinet is just a sanitizing unit. It's not going to sterilize. Yes. So whoever have this the UV cabinet in your salon, don't be under a wrong impression that it sterilizes. Now you know the difference between sterilization and sanitation. It's been repeated in every video. Now in this video itself, I have told 3 to 4 times. If you have missed it, go back and listen to this video and audio as well. Now this cabinet is like a closet. It's like a cupboard wherein you will keep all the clean material as it is. So different UV rays will have a different effect and capacity to destroy the microorganisms. So let's see what are these UV rays and where do you find them. So you will always find the explanation of UV rays in an electromagnetic spectrum. All right. So what is an electromagnetic spectrum? The spectrum of sunlight which will show in the sense not to the naked eyes. This is a very what you can say typical physics explanation. If you want to learn more about it, go to YouTube. There are Hindi videos, there are English videos, you can understand. So there are infrared, there are UVA, UVB, UVC in the electromagnetic spectrum. And left side, the purple light, what you could see, which looks like the typical mosquito repellent in hotels or in anywhere we see it. It's there basically to clean the equipment or to just maintain them as it is. Okay, the same technology is used in the UV cabinet or the UV sanitizers. So let's see what are UV cabinets, parts, and how is the working. Now, when you see this, there's a power switch, there is a UV lamp inside, there is a movable metal frame wherein you can open or close. Okay, there is a time display. There is a timing button, there is a power cord, power switch. Okay, so you need to understand as per the manufacturer's instructions how they are working. All right, so never ever treat them as they are going to sanitize or they are going to sterilize. All the equipments what you're going to keep inside them are going to stay as it is. Okay, now let's see what temperature it carries. It's 77 to 80 degrees. Okay, or 27 degrees Celsius. Yeah, Fahrenheit or Celsius. Then duration is 30 minutes. Exposure time is recommended. Okay, so you can keep it for the entire day also. Just make sure you are not handling with naked hand, or whenever you're opening the door, you are putting off the light. Okay, don't take that light directly on your eyes. Now, what all instruments you can store in that? Mainly metal, steel, stainless steel instruments. Now, brushes can also be sterilized in the cabinet. Avoid sterilizing rubber and plastic equipments. Okay, so if you tend to put rubber or plastic equipment inside this cabinet, it's going to spoil the quality. Now, precautions are very important. Make sure you use gloves every time you are removing it from the cabinet. Switch off the UV light before opening the cabinet door. As I said, it's not good for your eyes or for your uh, hands, for your naked hands. Okay, keep away sterile tool wrapped in a bag if not required daily. So you can create small cloth bags, or you can wrap it in gauze. Okay, make sure to physically clean instruments before placing in the cabinet to remove excess debris. Now every slide will talk about physically cleaning it before, with soap water, with anything like hot water cleaning and all. Okay, now when you're using this cabinet, you don't need any kind of chemicals. There is no ecological damage. Okay, it's quite low maintenance and easy handling. So you need to just train your staff, as we spoke about training a lot in yesterday's session, how training is important. You need to train your team on this. Now neither the taste nor the odor of the water are impaired. Portable, it's very inexpensive and portable as well. Disadvantages is UV light can damage to certain plastic or rubber. So avoid putting some rubber or plastic material inside this UV cabinets. Now, again, guys, we have to be careful while using with the manufacturer's instructions or the local body, the local government regulations, whatever we have been told. But as I said, fortunately, unfortunately, in India we don't have. But you being a smart consumer, you being a smart esthetician, a smart salon owner, you need to always talk to the dealer, always talk with the manufacturer and understand how you're going to use it. So thank you so much. Here we end today's session, and I welcome your questions. So, whatever your questions are, I would really love to answer them related to today's session or anything related to the exam. I hope everybody has watched the orientation video about exam and how to appear for the exam, because many of us are still calling and asking or messaging us how to appear for exam, where to put the code. So I've created a video in Hindi on the same page. Just scroll down, okay, and you will find it. Thank you, Anuradha, Mane, Bamne, Tanzim Sheikh. Thank you for attending. Hi Nayan, hi Seema, hi Lata, hi Priyanka, hi Kishore Pawar. Long time, Kishore. Kishore, you must give this exam. सिडेस्को सर्टिफिकेशन आहे, तू एक्झाम द्यायला पाहिजेस. Okay, it's a very good opportunity for everybody. Okay, now the session is done, so I'm okay to interact in Marathi or Hindi because I can see a lot of my students attending it. And I feel everybody should have one Sidesco certificate. It's a lifetime dream for everybody, that मैं Sidesco करूं. And it's not possible financially or technically to everybody to go and do some Sidesco course. So it's my urge, it's my request to everybody that just get this certification done. Ma'am, what is the duration of exam? Exam is just like in for an hour, Tanzim. It's not more than an hour. There are just 25 questions. Just go through the the process. Hi Anita. Anita, you are again asking me for the exam link. I told you yesterday also we cannot share the exam link on Facebook. Okay. We have to share the examination code to everybody. So we have just done with 150 people, 160 till yesterday with the exam, and everybody is getting a code on their WhatsApp. So you need to contact us, Anita. Yesterday also you were asking for exam link. There is no link, like the link won't work. You need an exam code as well. So you will get a proper message which talks about the link, which talks about the examination code as well. So please get in touch with our team. The number, as you know, I'll be posting it after the video also in the title and in the description. So we are making it clear every day. Please contact us on WhatsApp. Please do not call. You can request for notes. You can request for Marathi, Hindi, English notes. Okay. Then there's a question paper kind of, given to you just to have an idea about how the questions are going to be. Okay. Also, ma'am, what is the percentage to pass out? Tanzim, darling, have you watched the orientation video? Who can tell what is the passing marks for exam? All these questions have been answered in the orientation. Please do watch. It's very easy for me to give the answer in 1 second, but I want you to watch the orientation video. That's very important. It's on the same page. Please watch the orientation video and how to give the exam. Every video what I post, I write about it. What are the contents? Why you should see it. Ma'am, I sent message your given number, but no reply. Okay, Anita, let me check why you are only not getting reply. Please check the number which you have sent on. Thank you, Anuradha. So sweet of you. But don't give people such simple answers. Ask them to, watch the videos because they will again have one question. Yeah, please, Tanzim, please do watch. And please share with your friends so that your friends or your salon team, so that everybody gets certified with Sidesco. I want to share something with you all. Since we are done with 150 certifications, there are so many of us, so many from the community are telling us that, ma'am, because we have done this certification, we have started gaining lot of customers. It has made a huge difference when we posted on Facebook, when we created a video. So I would request everybody to please create a video once your training is done and talk to your clients about how sanitation and sterilization care you are going to take in your salons. All right. So please, guys, I think it's very important for everybody now to make your client aware about what exactly salons are. And salons are, not to be afraid about, because we have lost a lot of business in these past few months just due to people worried, if I go to salon, what will happen? So now I don't want anybody to lose out on customers. And please, guys, please make sure that you share everything with your clients. Okay, because you have to give them a promise that yes, we are going to be careful. All right. So let me just wait for few questions. Few people type it a bit very slow. So let me just wait. Anything apart from the exam, anything related to the notes? अनिता ढोले, यू कॅन अगेन सेंड. अनिता ढोले, तुम्ही अजून एकदा मेसेज टाका. तुम्ही आणि नंबर चेक करा. असं नाही होणार नो रिप्लाय फॉर 2 days. तुम्ही एकदा नंबर्स प्लीज चेक करा, कारण खूप जणांनी लास्ट टाइम मेसेज टाकले आणि रॉंग नंबरवर मेसेज टाकत होते. देन डोंट एक्सपेक्ट अस टू रिप्लाय, यू नो. प्लीज चेक द नंबर्स what you are sending the messages on. All right, so I think there are no questions, and let's call off for the day. And here we end the meeting. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending and being so patient, being so accommodative, being so, receptive. Tanzim, if you have missed yesterday's class, you can watch the recording. Hanita, you will get a WhatsApp reply for sure. Okay, my team is also watching it and they will definitely check. You can inbox us your number. We'll check whether we have received any message from your number. Anita, एक इनबॉक्स मध्ये मेसेज टाका. इथे फेसबुक वरती मेसेज कुठलाही फोन नंबर टाकू नका. इट्स नॉट सो right, to share your numbers on Facebook. Okay. So Tanzim, please watch the yesterday's video. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for attending this. And I hope you will share this with most of your friends and your salon community. Bye and see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. All right.